Ma'am, step outside and show me your ID, now.
I'm inside my own home. What crime are you investigating? What's your legal basis?
We got a call. You match the description. Step out or you'll be detained.
Detained for standing in my doorway? You don't have a warrant. Step back from my threshold.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
She didn't sound afraid, just measured. 2 uniformed officers stood on the stoop. One kept his hand a little too close to his belt. The other shifted his weight, eyes scanning the house and then flicking down the street. We got a call. You match the description. Step out or you'll be detained. The threat was thinly veiled, but she didn't budge. Detained? For standing in my doorway? You don't have a warrant. Step back from my threshold. Her voice was steady, not a hint of panic. Across the road, a neighbor's curtain twitched. A cell phone camera glowed blue in a driveway, already recording. We can do this the easy way or the hard way, the officer pressed, voice low. She stayed right where she was. Officer, before I do anything, explain why you're demanding my ID while I'm inside my own home. The officers glanced at each other. One stiffened his posture, the other scanned the quiet street, as if the answer might be hiding in the darkness. We received a call. You match the description. Step outside, the younger one repeated a little louder. She didn't move. She looked past them, noting every detail, the lights, the people watching, the sound of a garage closing down the street. Every movement felt like it mattered. I'm asking for the legal basis of your request. I'm not required to provide ID without reasonable suspicion. What crime are you investigating? The lead officer straightened up, jaw clenched. Ma'am, this is a lawful order. If you refuse, you could be detained. She exhaled, not backing down an inch. Detained for what? For standing in my doorway? The porch light flickered. A neighbor stepped outside, phone in hand. Another door opened farther down the block. The neighborhood was starting to watch itself. Officer, I am cooperating. I am asserting my constitutional rights. Those are not the same thing. He took a step closer, stopping just short of crossing the threshold. His voice dropped, but the tension in it was obvious. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. She held her ground, didn't flinch. She tilted her head, studying him, calm as ever. You're standing at the entrance of my home without a warrant or probable cause. I am asking you to step back. The red and blue light washed across her face, across the white trim, and across the shiny badge on his chest. The second officer tried a softer tack. Ma'am, just show us your ID and this'll be over. She looked straight into the phone across the street, then back at the officers. This is being recorded. You're about to make a decision that will follow you for the rest of your career. Right then, to everyone watching, she was just a black woman at her own door, being ordered to prove she belonged. No one on that street knew who she was. The officers were about to find out. That kind of calm didn't come from nowhere. Her name was Alicia Monroe, 45. She grew up in St. Louis, in the narrow house where her mom taught English and her dad worked late shifts at the postal facility. She learned young that rules weren't always applied fairly. Her father's stories about being pulled over for nothing stuck with her. Her mother coached her to speak clearly, politely, and never raise her voice to authority. She took those lessons through school, into debate club, mock trial, and law review. Law school only sharpened her focus on constitutional rights and the limits of government power. By her late 30s, Alicia was a respected federal prosecutor. Organized fraud, public corruption, civil rights violations. She'd made a career on precision and accountability, rising to become a United States attorney. No drama, no headlines, just work that held up under scrutiny. She believed in the law because she'd seen what happened when it wasn't enforced. But the officers on her porch didn't see any of that. Officer Ryan Cole, 7 years on the force, always by the book. He responded to calls as written, never questioning the assumptions behind them. Officer Mark Ellis, 11 years patrolling, no formal discipline, but a reputation for escalating tense situations. Their training taught procedure, but not much about restraint when challenged. A call had come in. Suspicious person entering a residence, black female, unknown if resident. That was enough for them. Knock, question, ID, move on. They didn't stop to think about what it meant to demand someone prove they belonged in their own home. Alicia recognized the way they set themselves, shoulders squared, one at the door, one watching the street, ready to escalate if she didn't comply. She'd prosecuted cases that started with moments just like this, small violations, dismissed as harmless, but together forming a pattern. She didn't feel fear, she felt clarity. Two paths were forming, de-escalation or disaster. The officers were about to choose. A neighbor called out, "This is ridiculous. She hasn't done anything." Cole turned toward the voice. Another neighbor's phone glowed from behind a curtain. "Are you recording this?" one of the officers called. "Yes," Alicia said. "Everything is being documented." Ellis's jaw tightened. "Step back from the door," he barked. "You are standing on the threshold of my home without a warrant, without probable cause. This is not lawful." Alicia's voice never wavered. The neighborhood, now a courtroom, listened in. Ellis stepped closer, blocking more of the doorway. Cole moved to the side, ready if things went south. The air was thick, heavy, electric with tension. One officer reached out. Alicia stepped back, hands still visible. A neighbor recorded from the driveway, her face worried in the blue glow of her phone. A voice whispered behind a window, "This is wrong." Cole, growing frustrated, snapped, "Step aside, ma'am." Alicia stayed calm. "I am not resisting. I am requesting legal justification." It escalated. Finally, she reached for her ID, slowly, deliberately, revealing her federal badge as a U.S. attorney. The holographic seal shone in the porch light. Both officers froze. Their confidence wavered. Voices rose, orders repeated. But now, the intimidation didn't work. Alicia's composure never broke. She cataloged every detail: names, positions, words, timestamps. Evidence for the record. Just then, Lieutenant Karen Simmons arrived. 25 years on the job, calm but with an edge. She saw the badge and her eyes widened. "Judge, Lieutenant Simmons, I apologize. We should have verified this sooner." Alicia nodded, unfazed. "Thank you. I need all reports, body cam footage, and radio logs documenting this encounter." The officers' faces went pale. Their confidence was gone, replaced by shock and immediate dread of what came next. Simmons ordered, "Return all personal property. Notify your supervisor. Write a full statement. Now." Ellis managed, "We didn't realize." Alicia's voice was firm. "You had the authority to question. You did not have the right to escalate, threaten, or intimidate. Every action is on record. Now it will follow you. Neighbors kept filming. Alicia stepped back, no longer under threat. The officers were left standing there, forced to face the reality of what they'd done. The videos hit social media that night. They showed Alicia Monroe, calm and collected, refusing to back down as officers demanded ID at her own door. Then the moment her credentials were revealed. Within hours, the story blew up. Legal experts analyzed every second, pointing out procedural failures, lack of probable cause, improper escalation. Civil rights groups called for accountability. A formal complaint was filed. Unlawful detention, intimidation, civil rights violations, abuse of authority. Internal Affairs opened an investigation. Both officers were put on leave. Their records were reviewed. The evidence was overwhelming. Neither officer even tried to verify her credentials before escalating. Their pattern of stops and complaints was laid bare. Public pressure built fast. Media coverage zeroed in on how quickly power dynamics can shift, especially when the person being challenged has legal knowledge and status. Within weeks, the department made its move. One officer terminated, the other suspended and reprimanded. Policy reforms followed, mandatory bias and de-escalation training, new protocols for verifying credentials, stricter oversight. Alicia didn't ask for money. Her focus was systemic change, better training, real accountability, and education about civil rights for both police and the public. Her story became a warning and a lesson. When public scrutiny, documentation, and legal knowledge come together, justice isn't just possible, it's inevitable. What happened at Alicia Monroe's front door was a clear illustration of constitutional limits. The Fourth Amendment is explicit. Police cannot demand ID from someone in their own home without reasonable suspicion. The threshold of your house is protected by law. Standing on your porch doesn't forfeit your rights. The only thing that changed this night was bias. Officers seen calm professionalism as defiance. The lesson is clear. If you ever face a similar situation, stay calm. Speak clearly. Ask for the legal basis of any demand. Document everything if it's legal where you are. Don't resist physically. Comply under protest. Present your credentials deliberately and ask for a supervisor. Save all video or photo evidence. Contact legal counsel as soon as possible. The department has a responsibility too. Train officers, enforce clear protocols, and maintain real oversight. The public's job is to keep watching, keep documenting, and demand accountability. Alicia Monroe's poise and legal know-how meant justice didn't depend on luck. It was built on preparation. But most people don't have her resources. That's why it's so vital to understand your rights and why policies have to change. Justice isn't just about punishing the guilty. It's about making sure everyone, no matter who they are, can stand at their own door and know their rights will be respected. Authority has limits. The law is there to protect you. Don't ever forget that.